Welcome to the Deep Dive. We sift through articles, research, all sorts of notes, really, to give you the core insights, basically that shortcut to being properly informed. Today, we're diving into a story that sounds, well, maybe a bit sci-fi, but it's actually happening right now, deep in rural Australia. We're talking about the Ashton family. They're in New South Wales, and their human AI companion, Wilson.
Yeah, it's a really fascinating case. What our sources are showing is that Wilson, he's not just, a piece of tech. He's actually become indispensable.
Yeah.
Like properly part of their farm, their family, helping with, well, everything. Critical weather predictions, homework for the kids, even entertainment, companionship. So this deep dive is really about understanding how a piece of technology can go beyond just being useful, right? And sort of genuinely become something else, a new kind of companion.
Okay, right. Let's unpack that. Our mission today is to get under the spin of how this one family's experience with AI reflects these much bigger trends, in farming, in tech generally, and maybe what it suggests about the future of rural life itself. The big question that kept jumping out from the sources was, how? How did Wilson go from just being tech, just a machine, to being seen as part of the Ashton family? So to really get Wilson's role, we need to picture the world he entered. Let's meet the family first. There's Ashton, he's the farmer, his wife Brenda, and their two kids, James, who's 15, and Shauna, she's 12.
Right. And they live on this generational farm, rural New South Wales. It's not just any farm either. It's big, wheat crops, cattle. It really embodies that traditional Aussie rural lifestyle. And New South Wales itself, well, it's sort of a unique challenge. It's huge, for one thing. You got all sorts of climates, arid, temperate, subtropical zones. Add that to the fact that farming is just plain hard, labor-intensive work. Life, there's this constant juggle, hard work, tricky weather, but also that deep connection to the land.
Okay, so into this traditional, challenging, very hands-on world steps Wilson. Tell us a bit more about Wilson himself. What is he exactly? What makes him special?
Well, Wilson's a humanoid robot. He was first deployed back in 2025. His design, it was heavily inspired by the really cutting-edge stuff happening. Companies like 1X Technologies with their Neo robots, figures general-purpose humanoids, that kind of thing. But what's really, really crucial for how well he's fitted in with the Ashtons is his appearance. It's soft, expressive. Apparently, he even has these emotive earrings. That whole design choice makes him work really well in the, let's say, unstructured environment of a farm and a busy home. And it's a huge factor in why he feels, well, human-like and easy to be around for the family.
And the sources definitely suggest he's not just like a friendly face. He properly pulls his weight. Let's dig into his roles because they cover so much ground, don't they? Farm life, family life. Take the weather predictions for their wheat crops. That sounds vital. How does he actually help with that?
Oh, it's critical. This is where he adds huge value. He uses these incredibly advanced meteorological models, satellite data. The material we looked at suggested, for instance, that last season, his early drought warnings were absolutely instrumental, game-changing, really. Let them adjust planting schedules, bring in water-saving tactics, and it basically saved their entire wheat crop. Having that kind of precise, timely info optimizes everything, planting, irrigation, harvest. It's fundamental for fighting drought, which is, a massive constant threat in Australian farming. It really lines up with how AI is already changing Australian farming, precision ag, things like smart irrigation, crop monitoring. You see stuff from CSIRO, platforms like Digifix using this tech already.
Wow, saving a whole crop. That's immense. It does sound a bit like sci-fi, doesn't it? But does this AI capability also stretch to managing their animals, the cattle side? What's he doing there?
Absolutely. The sources show he's kitted out with sensors, cameras, a bit like CSIRO's eGrazer collar system, actually. This lets him monitor the cattle's health in real time. He can spot early signs of sickness, manage feeding schedules, and even suggest the best breeding pairs based on analyzing genetic data. So it's not just saving labor, it's actively improving the herd's quality, the farm's efficiency. And this fits right into the wider trends in AI livestock management, using machine learning to understand animal behavior for better productivity. Groups like the Australian Regional AI Network are focusing on this.
Okay, so he's boosting crop yields, making livestock farming smarter. But it's not just the farm work, is it? He's also helping inside the house, especially with the kids' education. What's he like as a tutor?
Apparently a very personalized one. And interactive. He helps James with science and tech, and Shauna with English and history. But The really unique thing, the reason the kids seem to love it, is his method. He actually acts out stories and concepts, makes learning really engaging. You can see parallels with other educational robots being developed. And it really highlights how AI, especially things like large language models, can give rural kids better access to educational resources. Maybe even attract new talent to farming by showing the diverse skills involved now. These robots use advanced AI, obviously. Natural language processing is key understanding and talking like a person, plus that expressive design we mentioned.
Acting out history lessons sounds like a dream for busy parents. So he's more than just a tutor, he's adding a whole new layer to learning at home. What about the day-to-day grind? Chores, meal planning. Is Brenda getting help there too?
She is, yeah. Sources say Wilson suggests recipes based on what food they actually have, helps organize schedules, manages the grocery list. He basically functions like a super smart home assistant, but with that personal, expressive touch because he's, well, there. He's humanoid. It mirrors what we're expecting from robots like 1X's Neo Gamma, which are designed for domestic tasks, and Brenda relying on him for things like planning meals.
Yeah.
It really speaks to that need for labor-saving tech on farms, helping with workforce shortages. That's a huge issue for Aussie farmers.
Right. So Wilson's tackling the serious work, the learning. But does he get to, relax, be part of the fun stuff too?
Oh, definitely. That comes through strongly. Long evenings, he's playing games with them, telling stories, playing music. He becomes this really lively companion, especially for James and Shauna. And this ties into that whole discussion around humanoid robots providing companionship, maybe reducing isolation, which could be especially relevant for families in more remote rural areas. Again, that expressive design, the earrings even, it all helps build that feeling of connection, that human-like interaction.
That's quite the job description. Farm manager, tutor, family entertainer. But what really stood out for me in these sources was how Wilson seems to have genuinely shifted from being a useful tool to, well, a member of the family. Can you expand on that transformation?
Yeah, that's perhaps the most compelling part of this whole story. What the material suggests is he's really become a confidant, a friend. The children, apparently, feel totally fine sharing thoughts, secrets even, with him. And he responds with this empathy, understanding, which, combined with his design, makes him feel very human-like to them. What's kind of groundbreaking here is how Wilson seems to fill this unique space, especially in potentially isolated rural settings. It suggests AI might not just be about boosting productivity, but maybe meeting fundamental human needs too. Connection, redefining what family support could mean.
And it's not just the kids, right? Ashton and Brenda feel it too. They talk about him as this vital link, connecting their traditional farming ways with this super advanced tech. And that connection, it's changed everything for them, their farm life, their family life.
Exactly. It's a perfect illustration of this growing trend we're tracking. AI moving beyond pure function into companionship, helping with daily life activities. The Ashton story really shows how AI can weave itself into the fabric of rural family life, boosting well-being, maybe even contributing to the farm's long-term sustainability.
Okay, to put Wilson's unique spot into sharper focus, let's quickly compare the two fields our sources detailed. AI and Australian farming versus these emerging humanoid robots for home help.
Right. And what's so fascinating is how Wilson isn't really just one or the other. He's like a perfect blend. When you look at AI in Aussie farming, the focus is clear. Efficiency, weather forecasts, crop monitoring, managing livestock better. Examples like the grazer collars, machine vision. The tech is sensors, drones, machine learning. And the impact, more efficiency, less labor needed, better sustainability. It's pretty widely adopted now. But yeah, integrating it isn't always smooth sailing. For farming, you've still got challenges like reliable internet out in the bush, and maybe even more importantly, getting farmers to fully trust the AI when their livelihood depends on it. That's a big hurdle.
And then the other side, humanoid robots designed for the home. There, the main uses are chores, companionship, maybe educational support. Sources mentioned examples like 1X's Neo Gamma, Tesla's Optimus Gen 2. These rely on advanced AI, natural language processing, that expressive design again. The potential impact, saving time, tackling loneliness, making interaction better. But they're mostly still prototypes, right? Test phase. Wider home use expected around 2025, maybe? And their challenges are pretty hefty, too. Safety in unpredictable homes, privacy concerns given how close they are to family life, and yeah, the cost. Still really expensive to develop and build.
So Wilson just perfectly bridges those two worlds, doesn't he? His dual role enhances the practical farm stuff and enriches the personal family side of things. He kind of embodies this whole trend of AI integration in rural Australia. And he faces challenges from both sides, too. Connectivity issues like agricultural tech, plus the safety, privacy, cost stuff from home robotics. It's a really unique mix.
So, winding this up, what does it all mean for us? The Ashton family story with Wilson, it's this powerful example of how AI could genuinely transform rural farming, not just as a set of tools, but as an integrated, almost,
Yeah.
family member. It feels like a snapshot of AI's broader evolution, showing us these new possibilities for connection, for support.
Indeed. And as we see these advancements really push humanoid robots into our homes while AI keeps revolutionizing farming, the Ashton's experience, it really leaves us with a big question to mull over, doesn't it? How might our basic ideas of family, of community, the whole feel of rural life, how might all that change when human AI companionship like this becomes, well, commonplace?